Hi all! Rick here with a quick video on Dead Space lore. This is a game that terrified me when it first came out, and I honestly cannot remember if I finished it myself or watched someone else complete it, but either way, I remember being impressed by the world building in it in such a short space of time, beginning with the mining ship Ishimura, the setting for the game. So, no spoilers ahead, I just thought I'd do a quick breakdown on the USG Ishimura itself. It was constructed by the Concordance Extraction Corporation, the largest interstellar mining company for Earth and her colony worlds, and the first. The CEC constructs its vessels from the shipyards over Mars and Earth, and the Ishimura was equipped with a shock point drive, which functions by compressing space-time before the ship and expanding it behind to allow it to ride a warped bubble of space-time. This is Dead Space's faster-than-light travel. It was launched in 2446, 62 years before the game's setting in 2508, and by this time it had completed 34 successful planet-cracking operations under a multitude of crew members and captains. The vessel was continually kept up to date with the latest developments and generally regarded as one of mankind's greatest symbols of innovation. The USG prefix stands for the United Spacefaring Guild, and the name Ishimura translates to Stone Village, an apt name. However, in universe, it was named for Hideki Ishimura, the inventor of the shock point drive, about 300 years prior. The Ishimura is a colossal ship, 1.6 kilometers long, and with a crew of 1,332. 307 of these were colonists, and 208 were family members of the crew. This left 817 to run the ship and various operations on board. Such operations included the obvious mining and smelting, as well as various sciences, such as hydroponics for cultivation of colonial crops and the crew's sustenance, and medical research with a focus on virology and genetics. There is even a clone lab for the emergency growing of replacement organs should such an event arise. The Ishimura was the first of the Planet Cracker class, which does what the name says for mining purposes. A mineral-rich planetoid is located, a site picked, and a colony established in a kilometre ring around that site. Then excavation begins, and tethers from the Planet Cracker are attached to the segment and pulled it into orbit, which the ship can then mine or examine, all at the crew's leisure. The Planet Cracker could also be used to haul in asteroids, but either way, the mining deck, which covered 4 levels, was the hub of this activity. Behind this, and covering most decks, was the ore storage towers sections, maintained in zero gravity, and aft of this was the engineering deck. This deck, over several levels, was restricted to authorised and experienced personnel only and maintained the many systems, including the shock point drive, artificial gravity, as well as fuel storage. Above the ore storage was hydroponics, which was the regulated farm and plant life that sustained the crew with food and oxygen. It also had the food storage here, as well as parts of the extensive ventilation system. 4 of the storage towers, and above the mining deck was the flight deck, with the departure and arrival areas and numerous hangars with access to the cargo bays. 4 of these sections was the residential area. This not only included crew quarters, but also numerous recreational sites, lounges and cinema. Above this was the medical deck and labs, and at the very front of the vessel was the bridge, the command centre for the ship and navigational hub. In addition to the ship's hub, it also acted as the administration level for the other departments of the ship and primary communications centre. While the Ishimura was unarmed, it did have an asteroid defence system, or ADS, which was a series of automated cannons that would target and destroy incoming asteroids. A common problem considering its occupation as a mining vessel seeking out these floating rocks in space. These could be used as offensive weaponry too, although that was not their primary purpose. All these sections are connected by both walkways, vents, but primarily its internal tram system for speed and efficiency. By the time of the game, the vessel is in disrepair and heavily damaged. Dingy lighting accentuates the industrial feel of it and makes for an eerie environment. However, we can see traces that only the utility areas are of this industrial flavour, such as engineering, cargo and the various maintenance areas. The rest of the ship, like medical, sciences and the bridge, are far lighter in tone and more comfortable. With power restored to full, it is no doubt a far more welcoming location to work and ultimately live in for an extended period. It is a massive ship built for a practical purpose, but with the added facilities to make its extended time away from the colonies more tolerable, with room for families, colonists and other departments, so that work on other projects could be carried out on its missions. In this way, it reminds me less of a spaceship and more like a travelling company or mining town where only one or two industries have a presence aboard. There is even the presence of internal shopping and banking systems. It was likely loaded up with colonization gear before every mining mission, before packing up and departing when it had filled its holds with materials. In 2508, the USG Ishimura was sent to crack the planet Aegis 7, although there were some ulterior motives at play too, and it was under the command of Captain Benjamin Mathias, and the ship has sent out a distress call. This is where the game picks up, so I'll leave the video here. I've been Rick, thanks for watching this breakdown on the Ishimura, a ship on par with that of the Nostromo for science fiction horror ships, so until the next lore video, thanks again, and goodbye.